Beetlejuice.
I just love hitting you bozos with my hammer. Me. Tonight is ours.
Hello everyone, this is Halloween Haunter here, and today I am talking about the Graveyard Shift Spirit Halloween 2021 sneak peek video. If you guys didn't know what the Graveyard Shift is, it's essentially Spirit Halloween's big video showcasing all the new props for this year. So far, only 9 props have been publicly released on Spirit's website, while the rest have just been remained a mystery in this teaser. So, in this portion of the video, I'll only be talking about the ones that haven't been released yet, while the other ones I'll talk about later in this video, because I don't want to talk about them in this kind of trailer and then have to talk about them later. I'll just talk about them later and then talk about the ones not released yet this time around. So, this is essentially Spirit Halloween's mini movie. I'm kind of surprised not everything was released today, only a select few, so that means sneak peeks are practically still happening this year. Kind of sad it wasn't a big mini movie, but I'm fine with this, honestly. I'm fine that we're still going to have a lot of sneak peeks to look forward to. So kind of skipping through some of the props we're going to talk about later, let's talk about some of the big props that aren't released yet, but still pretty much matter to the whole Spirit Halloween season. These ones I'll be talking about right now. So the first shot is more of this dartboard, which I'm assuming it's just more of the scenery for Henry Hustle. There's Bloody Bag of Jokes there, which he is really cool. I can't believe he's back. There's a new demon with the ram's head. It looks really cool. A new bride prop, which holding a head, which is really cool. A new trapeze clown girl, Ghostface. We'll talk about him later. And we have these 2 clowns holding a girl and an ice cream cone, which is really cool. Here we have a big demon guy kind of popped up. We have Bloody Bag of Jokes again. I can't believe he's back. We have this crate with the hand sticking out of it, which is really cool. Then we have the 2 clowns with the girl and the ice cream again. That's, again, really nice. That's really cool. More of this bride prop. We're seeing a lot better views of her. Once again, these ones aren't released yet, so we don't really know what they do yet. But I did kind of want to mention him here, which is really cool. I'm really excited for Bloody Bag of Jokes. I actually already own him. I got him earlier this year, but it's cool to see him back. And I'm probably going to get the new one to go from the old one, too. So that's going to be a fun project. Here we have some sort of little girl. Her eyes seem to move in the teaser, and then there's some kind of Reaper behind her. Kind of Reaper cool thing. But that's pretty cool that's there. And here's more of that Reaper guy. He's kind of more lunged down. And then there's that box with the crate hand. Then we have here Grave Grabbing Corpse returning to Spirit Halloween. I'm not sure why he's returning. He wasn't even exclusive in 2015 or 2016. But he's returning this year. And I'm probably going to get him because I want to have all of Flashlight Fridays. But wow. And then we saw some sort of like new ghostly prop. Some new ghost prop. Very strange. And then more of this girl with that Reaper, and then the demon guy, Grave Grabbing Corpse. More of that ice cream girl with the 2 clowns. Once again, that's really cool. It's most likely online only, but I do want to still see it. But that's really cool. And again, more of that little girl. Bloody Bag looks practically the same, which is really cool. I'll talk about these guys more when the releases happen. But overall, this is just a pretty nice teaser to have. There's more of that ghost prop I was talking about earlier. Very strange. It seems just more cheap, but I'm not going to judge it on it yet. It's probably just an online and only prop. But there is so much to kind of still left to see from Spirit, and I'm still pretty much looking forward to what else Spirit has this year. There's more of that bride prop. There's not really much else to say from here. I think a lot of the shots, just good times. He came back on the Hugs Times episode, which you should probably watch. There's not really much else to say here. More scenery, more of the same props we just saw. Except there is one prop at the end I do want to kind of discuss a little bit. There's the Grim Animatronic, which we're going to talk about later on this video. But over here, it seems to be some sort of new Pennywise animatronic, which is fine. I already owned the 2019 one, so me having another Pennywise is not needed. But it's fine. It looks cool. It has a cool pop-up motion. It's unique. Kind of like it, but I'm probably not gonna get it just because I kind of like the original 2019 Pennywise better. But this one is still pretty nice to have if you don't have the 2019 one. But I'll talk about this one more when it actually releases, which probably will be soon. But overall, not a bad animatronic for Pennywise. I mean, it makes sense why the old one didn't come back now. But anyways, the next up here is we got our first prop we're going to talk about. It is Wacky Mole. Wacky Mole has returned officially. He's on the Spirit Halloween website. He's going to ship on August 31st, 2021, and he is $220 or $219.99, which to me is actually a pretty nice deal. I mean, it's been 8 years, $20 more. That's fine with me. He looks really cool. I had the original Wacky Mole. He's actually right next to me, and he looks practically identical. I mean, the arms, there are some differences. The hands and the arms are positioned differently. Like the hand that's not holding the mallet is more curved up rather than curved down. The arm holding the mallet isn't more upward, it's just more straight. And he's got the SVI generic kind of green plastic clown shoes, which I don't really care, but makes him different at least. And his eye swirls are different, and his face expression is practically the same mold, but it is a little bit different, just slightly different. So he's back. Personally, I'm glad he's back. I like Wacky Mole a lot. He's the second requested prop after Uncle Charlie, and he still has some of the same quantities as the original one does, or qualities. But overall, he looks really good, and I'm probably gonna get him. Even though I own the original, I like to have both because this one's probably better quality, better speaker, and I do kind of want to compare the two when it actually comes out. So once again, I'm very happy he's back, and overall, that's pretty much it for Wacky Mole. The next prop on our list is Buzzsaw, who is gonna retail for $279.99 or $280. And he is on pre-order until August 31st, 2021, same as Wacky Mole. And personally, when I first saw this guy, I didn't really like him that much, but honestly, he's actually pretty cool. I mean, he's kind of similar to Wacky Mole, where he has kind of the mallet, except it's kind of, installed in him, I guess you could say. It's kind of a part of him now. And the Buzzsaw, the actual Buzzsaw itself, is actually a part of him too. Kind of like the metallic arm is a part of him now. Kind of like a half robot, half human thing. And he looks really cool, honestly. He's kind of just a big prop. He's kind of a big guy. He's really cool. Will I get this one? I'm not really sure. I would like to have him, but if I had to wait till like maybe after the sale or something, I wouldn't. Or after Halloween, I wouldn't mind getting him after then. But he's $280, which is a lot of money. $250 would have been better, but I can see why. He looks like a very large stance prop. He looks like it takes a lot of room, so I can see why he definitely is a bit pricey. But overall, he does have pretty good movement. His mouth moves. He's got the buzzsaw moving, and he turns side to side. Just pretty good movements for the prop overall. Not really much else to say here other than that he's really cool. So let's Buzzsaw for you guys. Next is Mr. Howle, the prop we saw in the Spirit Halloween Graveyard Shift website teaser, and the same guy we saw in the poster teaser and the actual Graveyard Shift video teaser. So we've seen this guy a lot, and there he is, and honestly, he is really awesome. I really like him a lot. He's a really big prop. It kind of runs like Crouchy. He might be PT, and not really sure the companies on some of these yet. But if you get his party time, he is really cool. He's kind of like the next Crouchy. He's huge. He's got his huge hands, huge head. I like his movement a lot. His movement's kind of like his head moves up and down, and his mouth moves. His body kind of not lunges, but kind of moves upward, and it looks kind of cool. His arms move with it, of course, and it just overall, to me, is a really cool idea. He's $300, which is kind of a lot of money, but I definitely see myself getting this guy in the future. I do want more werewolf type props and kind of more demon props for my haunted houses. So to see this guy kind of be made is pretty cool. But overall, that's pretty much Mr. Howle there. He was worth the wait, and I'm pretty happy with him nonetheless, especially since it's been a while without a werewolf prop. The next one on the list, though, however, is Grimm. Now, Grimm is honestly, when I first saw it, I was just like, okay, it's another, big skeleton. It's not gonna beat the Home Depot when I bet. And I was totally surprised to see it. This guy is so much cooler than I thought. I thought he was just gonna be like the UK version of this one, where it's just the mouth movement and the generic phrases. This guy is really cool. I love his movement a lot. I love how his arm moves, his body turns, his head just moves different directions, his mouth moves. His eyes aren't LCD, but they actually have a motor in them, so I actually prefer this. I thought at first maybe the LCD eyes were better, but this actually looks a lot cooler on him just because it feels more lifelike. And overall, I love his voice too and his phrases. It works pretty well with him. So overall, I think Grimm here is a very nice prop. Believe it ships the 31st, and he costs $280 or $279.99. So not a bad price, I think. I mean, he's 6 feet, but I bet he's at least a little bit taller, maybe 8 feet. But yeah, that's overall Grimm, and I like him a lot. He's a really cool prop. Next is the Caretaker. Now, unlike most of these props, this guy is actually not available on the site yet. He just says coming soon, so I'm not really sure why he's not on the site yet. But anyways, his price when it comes on the site is going to be $209.99 or $210. And personally, I don't think it's a bad price. He's a pretty decent size, and I think his motion's fine. Basically, his mouth moves, and his shell moves up and down, and overall, that's pretty decent for me. I would like to get this guy, but I don't really know if I will. It just kind of depends on the rest of the lineup. He's pretty cool. He is definitely one of the ones higher up on my list, but unfortunately, I don't really know the plans for this year for my haunted house. If I don't know if I'm even gonna do one this year. However, I do think he is pretty good for like a graveyard, of course, because he's a part of a graveyard. He's got a shovel, and he's got the tombstone on the back of him, and his arms just kind of move up and down with it. And overall, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's not really much to say about this guy. I think he's decent. He's not my favorite of the year or anything, or any of my favorites. But if I didn't get him, I don't think I'd be too upset. But I would like to kind of get him. But overall, he's pretty nice. And that's pretty much it for the Caretaker. Now, next on the list is Henry Hustle. Now, I gotta say, this guy is probably my favorite prop of the year. I think this guy is definitely my favorite. From everything we've seen in the teaser so far and what we see today, I think Henry Hustle is going to be my favorite prop of the year. Unless something like Pumpkin Nester, Little Nester comes back, one of my favorite props ever, I can see this guy sticking as my favorite for the rest of the year. I just think he's super unique. He's actually crazy to create, and it's kind of surprising because his shoes looks very similar to the seasonal vision shoes, but it's not actually seasonal visions. Basically, his arm moves and his head pops up to reveal the second face. He kind of tricks you with that. Kind of pulls out a card and kind of tries to play card games with you, and his head pops up, and shows his his true face, which is really cool considering that it's a unique concept, and I think it definitely can scare a lot of people on Halloween night. He costs $229.99 or $230, and I believe he's expected to ship on or before September 15th, which I'm not gonna pre-order any of these guys. I'm just gonna wait till stores open to get these guys, but anyways. I think $230 is a fine price. I think that's pretty reasonable. I mean, he's got two heads, and I think his motion's fine. I know some people may complain about that, but I think it's honestly not that bad. I think the two heads can't excuse that price tag. So overall, I think Henry's probably my favorite of the year. I love him a lot. I can't get enough of him. I just think he's really cool. And overall, this, to me, one of the better, probably my favorite modern clown prop, honestly. I keep thinking maybe it's one of my favorites, but I think it is my favorite modern clown prop. Unless something else comes in the way, I think this guy is pretty much going to stick like that. I mean, I just think he looks really unique, and he just, to me, again, my favorite prop of the year so far. Just everything else hasn't outshined this guy for me, so I think he's definitely my favorite of the year. Next on our list, though, is Beetlejuice. Now, if you guys didn't know, which I'm sure most of you do know on this channel, Beetlejuice was actually supposed to come out last year in 2020 for the same price he is this year. That is $279.99 or $280. but he was delayed, and now he's coming out this year. And honestly, I'm glad he's coming out. I'm glad he just wasn't scrapped completely. I'm actually glad it's gonna happen. Um, and personally, I actually really like him a lot. I think he's a really good prop. The motion is a little bit disappointing. I don't really like how there's not like a lot to him. There's just a side to side and the mouth movement. That is kind of unfortunate, and his face does look a little weird, but besides that, I think he's pretty fine. His price tag, I'm not really sure how to feel about that. I think he's a little bit overpriced, but I still really enjoy him a lot. He's definitely one of my favorites so far released. He's definitely one that's really high up on my list, and it's one I can see myself definitely getting. Like Henry and Beetlejuice, definitely, and probably Wacky Mole, honestly, is ones I can definitely see myself getting. This guy's just really cool, and I don't want to miss the opportunity to get him. So Beetlejuice here, yes, I think I will be getting him this year. So expect him on the channel, but overall, yes, he is really awesome. I'm just glad he actually was released. Continuing the licensed props, we have Shorty here, and Shorty to me is really cool. I mean, I'm not the hugest Killer Klowns fan, but I do like the movie enough to where I actually want to buy this guy. I do want to buy him. Shorty isn't my favorite clown either. I feel like maybe Jumbo would have been better, but overall here, Shorty is actually pretty cool. I like his animation. I think it's fine. I actually like how it comes with interchangeable gloves, so you can either have the boxing gloves or just have the standard hands, which is really cool for this guy. He overall just seems like a pretty well made prop. He costs, I believe, $19.99 or $220. He's 5 feet, and I think that's a good price for him. He's definitely, to me, worth that price tag. So overall, he's definitely one I can see myself getting in the future. Next up is Ghostface. Now, Ghostface, I mean, I had the original Jimmy one from 2011, and just seeing that one and then comparing it to this one, it's a major downgrade. However, I don't think it's the worst thing ever. I think for what it's supposed to be, it's fine. It's a hauntress Ghostface. It makes sense. Ghostface does often kind of pop out from corner to corner in the movies, but he's not actually licensed under Scream. I believe he's just licensed under Fun World, which is why he doesn't have any original audio, or why he isn't anything that spectacular. He's not anything big or anything, because he's not actually licensed under Ghostface. Or, sorry, not Ghostface, under Scream. So he's just Ghostface, and he's cool and all, but yeah, I mean, for what he is, he's not bad for a haunt prop. Yeah, he's decent. I can see people getting him because he's a good haunt prop. But for a display, like a horror collector, that's really hard to kind of manage with. I don't really see a lot of horror collectors buying this because it's not the best looking thing. It's decent for what it looks like, but it's not the best thing for it. It's just overall kind of meh. I just don't really care about it too much. I mean, it's okay, but I'm not going to buy it. It's $130, which is actually a really good price. The Hauntress is actually the same price this year as him, so that's pretty cool. I do think the Hauntress is 10 times better. I do have her myself. She was my favorite prop of last year, so seeing a Ghostface one, I don't know. Wasn't my favorite one, but yeah, he's fine over here. So overall, here's Ghostface. Not the worst thing ever, but I don't think I like him enough to even buy him. I hope we get a better Ghostface in the future. So overall, that's Ghostface. The next one on the list is Night Stalker. Now, Night Stalker retails for $179.99 or $180, and personally, that's not a bad price. He looks to be pretty decently sized, and I do like his emotion. I've always kind of wanted a boogeyman scarecrow, to be honest. That actually is something I've actually wanted, but I don't think it was the best execution. I do think it kind of works, but I don't know. I'm still kind of mixed on him. I just don't really have a full opinion on this guy yet. He is 5 foot, which isn't too tall, but yeah, I mean, he's okay. I just don't really care about him too much. I do think there's better props than him, and I don't really see myself getting him. But he's decent, and I can see some other people liking him because he's a scarecrow. So yeah, so that's overall basically every prop release so far from Spirit Halloween for the 2021 Halloween season from the Graveyard Shift. Hope we get more very soon because there's definitely a lot we haven't seen yet and a lot that I do want to see. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, and this is Halloween Hunter.